What's up, folks? Jonathan here. So, today, instead of doing the next episode of Ridiculous Bible Stories, I'm going to talk about something different today. And here in the United States of America, our president, Biden, uh, has forgiven $10,000 of student loans for those that have the debt and make under $125,000 a year. So for a lot of Americans who finance their college education and they still owe that money, um, this $10,000 is going to come out of that. So they won't have to pay that part of it anyways. What's really odd about this is there's lots of folks, particularly Republicans, the right wing folks who hate Biden, hate Democrats, very tribal. It doesn't matter what the Democrats try to do to help people; it's automatically shit, bad, ugly, whatever, and because they didn't do it. But anyways, I digress. A lot of those folks are saying it's unfair to forgive the $10,000 of debt from people because there have been lots of people in the past that have taken out these loans and worked and paid them off themselves. And they say it's unfair that me or so-and-so got these school loans and we did what we were supposed to do and we paid off this debt and these other people are getting a free 10 grand, a free ride, and it's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah. Okay. This has rubbed me wrong in a huge way, and I'm going to tell you why. Stick with me here, okay? My aunt, who passed away in 2006, she was born in the 1930s, and she was one of 13 kids, and they all grew up pretty poor, all right? And when she was little, she told me this. When I was a teenager in the early 80s, she told me this, that they had to haul water from a well, okay, to the house. They had no air conditioning, so in the summertime they would sweat, and a lot of times they'd sleep outside in an attempt to go somewhere cooler at night. They had to wash their clothes by hand. I even have my grandmother's washing board where early on, man, they go down to the creek and take the washing board and wash the clothes by hand. And I remember my grandmother's backyard, the clothesline, you'd hang up the wet clothes outside. And anyways, my point is, I, as a child, never had to haul water. I never had to wash clothes in a washing board in a creek. I always had air conditioning. I was very privileged from that aspect, okay? Now, I didn't grow up rich, but, we had enough. Plus, it was the 70s, so there was more air conditioning available and things like that. Never once did my aunt say, "It's unfair, Jonathan. It's unfair that you didn't have to haul water. It's unfair that you didn't have to sleep outside during the summertime when it was hot as hell. It's unfair that you had a clothes dryer to put your wet clothes in to dry." She never said that. Never. Never. And I guarantee you she never thought it. And why? Because if you're of the right mindset, you want the next generation to not suffer or go through as many hardships as you. You just don't. And I think a lot of these people are like, it's unfair, the $10,000 paying off student loans, it's unfair. These are some really narrow-minded, non-thinking humans. Because the same people that are saying this, I guarantee you they had grandparents, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents that suffered and did all kinds of shit because the modern technology wasn't there. They didn't have the money or whatever. And these same people are like, it's unfair. Well, shit, man. You know, hell, I mean, I'm old enough to remember payphones before cell phones, right? If I had to make a phone call and I was driving, I'd have to go find a payphone at a gas station somewhere. And if I didn't have a quarter or a nickel or a dime or whatever, I had to go get change and then go outside and put the thing in and push the buttons, and I'm on a payphone. I mean, my kids have cell phones. You know, they have smartphones. Do I think it's unfair that, you know, they have these cell phones and I didn't and I had to use payphones and shit? No. No, fuck no. It's just extremely selfish, you know? And for most people that have like college debt, $10,000 is just a piece of it. It's a piece. It's not even the whole thing. I mean, and if it is the whole thing and it pays it off, good for you. I mean, if my neighbor won the lottery tomorrow, would I be like, you asshole? Screw you, man. That's unfair. No, dude, I'd be like, hey, man, good for you. You got lucky. You hit the big time. You know, I don't get it. It just seems so selfish, narrow-minded. It's just shitty. But you know what? It seems like when it comes to the extreme right, shitty is just, it's part of being the tribe. You can't be a member of the tribe unless you get shitty, unless you have a shitty attitude about things. All right, so I just ranted, and I feel better. I got it off my chest. I got it out there. Whoo! All right. I hope you're having a great day. What do you think?